but addressing this issue is politically challenging. Elected officials are hesitant to suggest any changes that could lead to benefit cuts, even though that could reduce their options in the future. The program shortfalls are back in the spotlight this year as Joe Biden, House Republicans battle over how to address the nation's debt ceiling drama and mounting budget deficits. GOP lawmakers want to cut spending in exchange for resolving the borrowing limit, while the White House has said it would no longer negotiate this. Though Biden has repeatedly vowed to protect Social Security, his latest budget proposal did not include a plan to stabilize his finances. His proposal did call for extending Medicare solvency by 25 years or more by raising the taxes on those earning more than $400,000 a year, allowing the program to negotiate prices for even more prescriptions. Folks, this shows one thing. Joe Biden has to do something quick for the American people, or else people won't be getting the stimulus checks they need, and that means people will be going broke. There are two main provisions that lawmakers are debating on. These provisions can increase or decrease monthly benefits for the millions of Social Security and SSI recipients. The next monthly batch of monthly checks are set to go out in just one day, so continue watching this video to not miss out on this. Because nearly 8 in 10 Americans said in a new poll they would oppose the federal government raising the full retirement age for Social Security from 67 to 70. The new poll shows that 78% of respondents said they would oppose the move, while 17% of those surveyed said they would support it. It comes as Democrats and Republicans have debated on the country's safety net programs, Medicare and Social Security that is. Republicans have proposed this everybody and they're facing some challenges in it. Republicans have proposed a series of changes, and now the recent battle started brewing after Joe Biden called out Republicans in his State of the Union address, wanting to sunset both Social Security and Medicare programs that is. Now, Social Security along with Medicare and Medicaid makes up nearly half the federal budget with a total annual price tag of $2.7 trillion. When asked whether they would support raising the full retirement age for Social Security from 67 to 70, if it meant that benefits would last longer, 60% of respondents said they would still oppose the measure, while 30% of those surveyed said otherwise. Many of Social Security recipients can expect a second payment before the end of the week, as their recipients have received 2 benefit disbursements so far this month, and the first SSI disbursement on March 1st, and a regular Social Security payment on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, depending on their birthday. According to the SSA, the third disbursement is due on Friday. There's typically only one SSI payment each month, but if that day falls on a weekend or holiday, it arrives on the last business day before the end of the month. This also means there won't be SSI payments in April. Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid make up half of the entire federal budget, with a total annual price tag of $2.7 trillion.
He went to Bills, and this time he is lucky to be able to do a little something nice for himself. Another DMV resident telling us on Twitter she's, quote, not doing anything particularly interesting with her check. Those eligible getting $1,400 payments or more for married couples and those with children. If you have the ability to put the payment toward other things, financial experts say setting aside some money to reward yourself can be
and they will definitely bring down inflation. They will cause some pain to households and businesses and bring some pain to them because that's just how it is. The Fed has hiked interest rates for 4 times, and this year already in an effort to stanch price increases. When the Fed raises interest rates, money becomes more expensive to borrow, harder to get, and more worthwhile to save. According to The Hill, the Fed wants demand for goods and services to fall closer to supply, which has dwindled as a result of obstacles created by the crisis. In an ideal world, the Fed can raise the interest rates gradually enough to bring down inflation without slowing the economy. But economists generally agree that inflation has risen too high for the Fed to bring it down, without causing at least some hardship. And the Fed's rapid rate hikes will bring an end to the 2 years of rapid wage growth, record job openings, and remarkably low layoffs. The U.S. still added 315,000 jobs last month, and wages rose 5.2% over the past year. But economists do suspect that some job growth is going to be slow and the unemployment rate to rise as businesses feel the squeeze of higher interest rates. That means many more workers who have not yet gotten back under raises will not get one and may have few other unemployment options with better compensation. A round of relief checks are expected to be mailed and deposited to millions of people. These payments can be worth up to $270,000. Those earning more than $100,000 but less than $150,000 are eligible for grants on a sliding scale, ranging as low as $200. Part-timers working less than 30 hours a week can apply for a $500 grant. The application period will run until October 1st. and the goal is to process requests within a 60-day window. And for the company of Lowe's, the CEO said that in recognition of high inflation, we're providing $55 million in bonuses to our hourly frontline associates this quarter. And though there has been a slight decrease in gas and travel costs, recently the impacts of inflation are still affecting Americans, making it tougher for families to afford groceries and other essential goods. Microsoft, ExxonMobil, Walmart, USA have also offered bonuses, pay raises, and even gift cards to employees. But still, many of the nation's employers are still not paying their workers a living wage. The company website states that Lowe's employs around 300,000 associates, but it is not specified how much money each worker will receive and over what time period.
Between the White House and administration and Democrats up on Capitol Hill. Earlier today, both the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and the Senate Republican leader, the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, were on CNBC, and they explained really the fundamental philosophical dilemma here, which is all about how much is the U.S. government going to spend. Here's what they said.
Back on its feet and get the country in a place where it can sustain itself until we get a vaccine.
Now, Melissa, lawmakers had talked about an idea of having a deal by Friday morning. It looks like there's not a whole lot of time to pull something that big together by that timeline. But one of the questions about this meeting on Capitol Hill that's going on now is, can they at least agree to that price tag? Can they come up with a figure? Republicans have been around $1 trillion. Democrats have been $3 trillion or higher. Can they agree on a compromise figure? Can they just simply call it $2 trillion and start negotiating about what's going to be in there? That might be something that's doable this hour, but we'll wait and see what they say when they come out of those closed doors.
That Friday deadline is tomorrow Friday, right, Eamon? Not next Friday, not the following. It's tomorrow Friday. Right. And then the Senate goes on a scheduled recess.
Right. So the idea that they're going to have something by tomorrow is looking increasingly far-fetched, I think you can say.
And the Senate would still go to recess?
Yeah, look, there's a possibility.
Tonight, money is on the way to millions of Californians to help ease the pain of inflation. The stimulus payments are part of the state budget deal just announced last night. The checks are designed as tax refunds. Families could receive up to $1,050 through direct deposits and debit cards. APIX5's Lauren Toms breaks down how it works and spoke to Bay Area families about whether it will actually help.
Barring a refining disruption, I'm hopeful we can get to $3.49 between Halloween and Thanksgiving. He also added that there's an outside chance the national average reaches a low of $3.29. There's no major hurricane in the Gulf Coast or more refinery outages. However, analysts also warned the decline could slow temporarily and even turn higher in some areas like California and the Midwest. Prices were already rising recently in those areas as well. The least expensive states for gas are in the South. Drivers are paying an average of $3.26 for a gallon of gas